Yeah, in 2010, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C.
Okay.
And I went through the process of the interferon, and it was the worst thing I've ever been through in my life.
Tell us about it. Tell the listeners about what you experienced. It is pretty nasty.
Thoughts of committing suicide, flu-like symptoms. I mean, I went through body aches, chills. I mean, I was just irritable. I was unhappy.
How much did it cost you?
Well, I was on insurance, but it didn't pay for all of it. It's
okay.
I think my bill right now was like, I think I owe like $8,000 on it.
Did you have symptoms from your Hep C, or they just told you had Hep C?
Well, actually, funny thing is, I turned my life over to Jesus after I've been through a hard life.
So
and,
you were abusing your liver?
Well, yeah.
No, that's basically, I'm not picking on you. I want to point something out. It usually follows liver abuse. We have this idea, hepatitis C is an infectious disease, and we have this idea we get hepatitis C. You follow me? We give it to ourselves. We don't get it, we give it. You follow? We are responsible for our hepatitis C. Now, what does that mean? That means that your best strategies for dealing with it are going to be to support your liver. And it is, because you're asymptomatic, really the big problem is chronic damage. You follow me? That's the real problem, is the chronic scarring and the chronic fatty deposits that accumulate. So the way I look at it, your best strategy is going to be to protect your liver. Now you could do both, I suppose, but certainly to use the interferon, or now they have the pharmacology that they use to treat the medications, to use the drugs and then to continue about your merry way, messing up the liver. That doesn't seem like a smart strategy to me. So, but you praise God, you decided to change your life around. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So your liver's probably thanking you. So, how can we help you, my friend?
I've been wanting to know. I just got turned on to your program, and I'm just blown away by all the knowledge you have on all this stuff. And I'm just like trying to feed it all into myself and get healthy. And I really want to know how I can get rid of this.
All right, well, good. That gives me an opportunity to just go over, one of the most basic points. For new listeners, I know we keep getting new listeners, so I should probably review the basic ideas here periodically. I don't do that, but one of the most fundamental ideas of what I call the bright side philosophy, which is all the things we talk about on this program that we've talked about for now 5 years or so, is that there's a triangle of disease that underlies all of our other diseases. In fact, this triangle of disease is really a line of disease. The third point on the triangle of disease is almost secondary. The first 2 points, to simplify things, the only 2 points you need to understand to stay healthy, Colin, and everybody listening, and especially the new listeners, are the digestive system and the blood sugar system. Once the digestive system gets messed up, and it happens woefully early for most of us, sometimes at birth, sometimes prenatally, in the womb, once the digestive system gets messed up, the body doesn't process energy correctly. Sugar is energy. Sugar metabolism gets thrown off over the course of time, over the course of the duration of digestive distress, especially around the microbiome, the bacteria. Hang on a second, Colin. We'll finish up when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. Got 5 years, or going on 4.5 or so years of archives up at brightsideben.com. All have the same idea, same theme, that the human body is a regenerating system. If you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, you got lots of options, and the doctor option should be last on the list, or the medical option should be last on the list, unless you have an emergency. We're talking to Colin in Oklahoma about hepatitis. There's 5 different hepatitises for the listeners, by the way. You're talking about Hep C, Colin, and that doesn't really happen unless you've been abusing your body for the most part. But that's water under the bridge. Do you know, by the way, you're lucky you didn't get the Harvoni. Have you heard of this one, Colin? Harvoni? Or Sovaldi? That one will cost you. Yeah, they got 2 new drugs now for hepatitis C. They cost $194,000 for a 12-week supply. Did you hear that?
God.
$94,000. Excuse me. $94,000. The company says it's worth it because it prevents further complications, which could be really costly. They don't tell you that the drug costs a penny to make, 2 pennies.
Well,
I'm not kidding you. How do you justify selling something that costs a nickel or whatever, pennies, to sell it for $94,000? How do you even begin to justify that? And especially when you don't even need it. Hepatitis is fancy doctor talk for inflamed liver. Hepatitis. Hepa means the liver, itis means inflamed liver, period. The liver is your detox system organ. It's a digestive organ. It's making sugar, or it's storing sugar and processing sugar. It's storing amino acids, processing them, storing fats. It's doing all these different things, making bile. All of these different things, of course your liver is going to be burnt out and stressed out, and of course 100 million Americans are going to have fatty liver disease. So if you got a problem with hepatitis, and you're asymptomatic, I'd be working on my liver health, on digestive health, on fasting, and this is what I was talking about before we went to the break. There's 2 major points here for all health challenges, for everybody, no matter what we're talking about. Cancer, heart disease, liver issues, whatever, hormone issues. You got to focus on the digestive system, and we spend every day pretty much talking about this, and then the blood sugar system. Afterwards, you're going to need to relax the body and use relaxation strategies. That means deep breathing and massage and lightening up and hot water, hot baths. There's all kinds of little hacks into the body to activate the relaxation nervous system. And simultaneous with this relaxation, believe it or not, as weird as it sounds, you need a little bit of stress. You need a little bit of exercise. You need a little bit of burden. There's actually hormones that are produced when you exercise that anti-age you, that repair you. You turn on repair hormones by exercise. And quick bursts of exercise, not long term, not hours and hours, but just 5 or 10 minutes of exercise. Between exercise, rest, relaxation, digestive strategies, and blood sugar strategies, you have your hack, your key to reversing all chronic degenerative disease. 80% of our diseases, all of them. Did I say doctor anywhere there? No. Did I say drug anywhere there? No. Did I say diagnostics anywhere there? No. This is all in our control. And this is such good news to anybody who's dealing with a degenerative disease, arthritis, or osteoporosis, or Alzheimer's disease, or autoimmune disease, or whatever. All right, Colin, did I answer your question? I was kind of a roundabout way of talking about it, but anything specific?
Is there any supplements I should be?
Yes, get on the Healthy Start Pack. Go to brightsideben.com, look for the Healthy Start Pack. Send me an email, ben@ksco.com. Say Colin for Oklahoma. And we'll communicate via telephone or email. I'll tell you how to use it. Healthy Start Pack.
Ben at what?
It's called the Healthy Start Pack. Go to brightsideben.com. Brightsideben.com. If you want to do it just with a phone call, call 866-735-2470. Tell them you talked to me on the radio, and I'm going to work with you personally. So get the Healthy Start Pack, and then we'll communicate, okay?
Thank you very much. What was your email? Ben at what?
Ben at K for King, S for Sam, C for Cat, O for Oscar.com.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, buddy. Talk to you soon, Colin. Thanks, man. All right, Natasha in Oklahoma. What's going on? Welcome to the bright side. Natasha.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's going on today in Oklahoma?
Not much. Good weather.
Yeah, we're getting lots of calls from Oklahoma for some reason. Is there a new affiliate? Are you listening on the radio?
No, I was listening in on my phone. My sister told me about your show, and I decided to call in and see if you could help me with what I'm dealing with.
Sure. What are you dealing with?
I went to the emergency room on Saturday with excruciating stabbing pain in my abdomen, and they told me that I have a very large cyst on my ovaries, and it is pushing against different organs. So.
Oh, that's got to be miserable. Well, here's the deal, Natasha. You're having a dramatic example of cyst, but it's a very common problem. Usually they're not that big where you have that kind of pain, although that can happen. There's even conditions where you could have dozens of cysts, polycysts. In fact, there's a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, which involves blood sugar and involves hair loss and hair loss. It involves hair on the face. It involves oily skin and acne. It's just a big mess. Here's the thing. Whenever you have growths, Natasha, and a cyst is a growth, right? You have a growth basically on your. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you had a growth in your ovary. whenever you have growths anywhere, whether you're talking cysts or nodules or fibroids or skin tags on top of the skin, any kind of growth, even tumors, any kind of growth issues where cells are just growing like crazy, you want to think of sugar and you want to think of estrogen. Those are the two major factors that are involved with all cysts. You follow me? So we got to start working with your sugar and your estrogen. If you're not a diabetic already, in terms of how you handle blood sugar, you're pre-diabetic, you're on the way. Now, how old are you, ma'am?
26.
Okay. So for you to have ovarian cysts at this point in your life means you've had to have some pretty significant issues that you've been ignoring or not knowing you had. Have you noticed that you gained weight as you got older, like not appropriately?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not Psychic Ben, right? We don't have a video phone here, okay? I'm Pharmacist Ben. I'm not Psychic Ben. You know what I mean when I say that? It's not. I don't have to be psychic to know it. It's just how the body works. You probably have blood pressure issues also. Very likely you have skin issues. You think you're unique? With all due respect, you are unique in a lot of ways, of course, but not in terms of how the body is. It's very, our breakdowns are generic. And, after seeing it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, which is the position I'm in, you start to see patterns. So here's what you do. Number one, first and foremost, you got to get your blood sugar under control. You're at risk for a lot worse problems. As bad as your cysts are, you're at risk for a lot worse problems, especially at the age of 26. You're too young for this. So the first thing you got to do is got to get your sugar under control, okay? And you're going to do it in two ways. Number one, with the food you're eating, you have to have as close to zero tolerance as you can for anything that whacks out your blood sugar. Bread, pasta, potatoes, desserts, fruit juice. You know the drill, I'm sure. The stuff we love. And don't try to use willpower because it's not going to work. So what you got to do is you got to start to wean yourself away from the carbs, the refined carbs, not carbs, refined carbs is basically what we're talking about, refined flours, etc., and sugars. You got to wean yourself away from those and into more protein and more fat, good fat, coconut oil, butter, okay? And so indulge in butter, indulge in salt, indulge in veggies. Brussels sprouts braised are delicious. Broccoli steamed or cauliflower steamed is delicious. Indulge that way, and then get yourself on a good protein supplement. That's also extremely important. Natasha, hang tight because I got a few more things I want to say to you, okay? I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We will be back right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking bile and lecithin, one of my all-time favorite supplements, and apple cider vinegar, one of my all-time favorite, I don't want to say supplement. It is kind of a supplement in the sense that it's a solution of short-chain fatty acids, like essential fatty acids. It's actually a fatty acid supplement. Did anybody ever tell you that about vinegar? Well, if you listen to this program, you knew it. SCFAs, short-chain fatty acids, are extremely important for digestive health. We're talking to Natasha in Oklahoma. Speaking of digestive health, Natasha?
Yes.
Okay, so a couple things you're going to need to do. And by the way, if you follow everything I tell you here, you're going to notice, I can guarantee you're going to notice significant results way better than you could ever get from any medical strategies. Okay? Now, you may need some surgery. I don't know how bad your cyst is, so I'm not telling you don't need intervention. But I am telling you that if you have a cyst problem, these are the strategies that are going to eliminate the cyst. It's not a medical strategy. Number one, stabilize your blood sugar. Don't try to use willpower to wean yourself away from foods that spike your blood sugar. Use more protein, whey protein if you can handle that, and then more good fat. And indulge in fat and salt and veggies, and also mix a little bit of fat with your protein, too. Between fat and protein and veggies, it'll be much easier for you to wean yourself off of your favorite delicious, sweet, bready, starchy cereal foods, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. Now you're going to want supplements that help your body process sugar. Get on the Sweeties from Youngevity. Use the Healthy Start Pack from Youngevity. You can call 866-735-2470, or you can get it off brightsideben.com. Make sure you're using the Healthy Start Pack and the Sweeties, both of which will help you process your sugars. If you don't want to use the Youngevity products, make sure you're using B vitamins, lots of B vitamins, especially niacin, vitamin B3, and thiamine, vitamin B1. Okay, there's tons more. I know it sounds like I'm bombarding you here, but there's tons more. I'm trying to give you the most important things. The next thing is the digestive system, Natasha. My dear sweetheart, listen, you're 26. You have to have had digestive problems your whole life. Your whole life. And if you don't know you have them, find them, but you probably knew them because they're probably significant. Are you with me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's as important as the blood sugar is, it's equally important you start to work on your intestines because estrogen is processed by bacteria in the gut. Once